Steve, the Canadian Sasquatch, coming at you with Meadology Week 1 of 9. That's right, we're going to throw some knowledge at you over the next 9 weeks. So, this is Week 1. We are drinking some mead. We are drinking this mead, which at the end of this video will be making that mead. So more on that in a little bit here. So welcome to Week 1 of my Meadology project. Meadology is a 9-week course in mead making. I'm no master, but I'm always learning and trying to get better and just trying to help spread the knowledge of mead and such. So the breakdown of the course, the Meadology course here. So the breakdown of the Meadology course is Week 1, that's today. We'll cover the syllabus, what we're doing right now, sanitization, and we'll start a mead that will be done by Week 9. And like I said, this one. But that one I made last year. So Week 2, we'll talk about honey, different types and what it is and all that. And we'll also cover the first week maintenance of the mead that we'll make at the end of this video today. Week 3 is going to be about yeasts, the different kinds, what I use, why I use them, what I don't use, why I don't use them. And we're also going to talk about how we go about killing the yeast and why would we want to do that. Week 4 is about water. There is much to be known about water, what's in it, what flavors it can impart, and what issues it can cause down the road. So it's an important topic to know what's going on with your water. Week 5 will be about flavorings. So the different things that we use to flavor other than just honey. Use fruits, nuts, herbs, spices, etc. Week 6, we're going to talk about oxygenation and degassing. Yeah, a whole week on just that. The difference between the two, when to do each, and why do we bother? What's the point of oxygenization or degassing? Week 7 will be about SMA and YAM, Y-A-M. It's going to be a bit more of a complex week. It will get mathy. So SMA is staggered nutrient additions, YAM is yeast assimilable nitrogen, and we're going into how to calculate all that and what it is and why we need it. So Week 8 will be about problems and troubleshooting. What can go wrong, how we can avoid them, which is the preferred method, and what we can do with some of it if it's too late to avoid it. So how do we fix them after the fact? And then Week 9, it's going to be Q&A, questions and answers. So questions that pop up over the previous 8 weeks will be answered here. So send me those questions in the comments of the section of the video, email, private messages, Twitter, whatever. Send them on over for me to answer them. The more the better. Also, we will be enjoying the mead that we started on day 1 today. There it is, all laid out, all 9 weeks. I will create a playlist that you can click on right there so you can more easily find the rest of the videos if this is the first one you're looking at. Now into this week's topic of sanitization. It can be quick, it can be easy, it can be cheap. It should always be done. First, you must wash your equipment. You can't sanitize something that's dirty because the wild yeast, bugs, and bacteria, they'll find their ways into the nooks and crannies of the dirt and grime. And the sanitization methods can't always get into those nooks and crannies, so make sure you wash your equipment. Just some hot soap and water is fine. Just make sure you get all of it out of there before you proceed on to the sanitizations. I'll be talking about rinsing stuff throughout this video. And basically, when I rinse stuff, I just use up the hot water that comes out of the tap. In Canada and the US, most water straight out of the tap is bug-free due to the city officials and all that dumping in chemicals to kill everything off. And quite often that's what makes our brewing, that water not great for making mead or brewing with. But it's alright to rinse with. And then using hot water, if there is anything left over in the water, any kind of bugs or whatever, it's been sitting around in a hot water tank typically at the high temperature for usually hours and hours. So that pasteurizes the water as well, so there's nothing left in there. So again, in Canada and the US, it's perfectly okay to just use your hot tap water to rinse stuff off with. I don't know what it's like in other countries. I've not brewed in other countries. I've not used their water for anything. So there it is. Just a little bit of rinsing. Most of the time I use Star San. After that I use IDO4. And then after that I'll use sodium or potassium metabisulfites. I've never used bleach, and I've also never boiled, steamed, or baked equipment for sanitization, except for wort chillers when I'm brewing beer, but that's different, and we don't do that in mead making at all. So, Star San comes in a nifty container. Why do I use it most of the time? Because of convenience. I make a 5-gallon batch of it. It's got this easy to use measuring thing built right into it for 5 gallons. I use distilled water when I make it, and it lasts longer than I know I've used it. I've used the same batches for over 6 months. In fact, my current batch is almost 8 months, I think. So yeah, it lasts a long time. Star San is an acid-based no-rinse sanitizer. Its acidity is what makes it effective and kills the bugs and fungi that we don't want. It takes 30 seconds of contact time to do its job, as long as the equipment is clean. You'll see some places say 3 minutes. That's because the US government doesn't recognize sanitizing anything less than 3 minutes. So it's government mumbo jumbo on the literature where it says 3 minutes. So, but tests have been done, and it's 30 seconds is all you need. So you may also see people say that once it's cloudy, it's no longer effective. Again, I have used it when it is cloudy with no problems. The thing that you need to make sure of is that its pH is below 3. So you can get little litmus papers from your brew shop, or if you've got a pH meter, even better. Just check the pH of the Star San solution, and then as long as it's below 3, it's good to go. I've had it cloudy, and it was still like 2.5, and so it's not a problem. I still use it without any issues. You also don't need to rinse it. It doesn't have any flavor to it, and when it gets diluted, it breaks down into yeast nutrients. So it actually becomes beneficial to the beverage that you're making when you just start up with it, and when you're like bottling or whatever, it doesn't impart any flavors to it. So it's not an issue. Just use it, don't rinse it, and like I say, don't fear the foam. So the next sanitizer that I will use is IDO4. So it's an iodine-based sanitizer, and I'm not a fan of it because iodine stains pretty bad and tastes horrible. They say some of them are no rinse, but I've never met one that I couldn't taste something some of the iodine without rinsing it. So I do rinse on them. And I do occasionally use it because I play with wild yeasts sometime. So, and when I do that, I will take the equipment, wash them really well, like I mentioned, make sure your equipment's clean, and then I'll give it a good soaking in the iodophor. They say, again, requires 2 minutes, so literature will say 3 because of the whole U.S. government stuff. But I don't actually have an issue with it at that time because I'm doing cleanup. So rinse it or wash it, give it a spritz or a soak in the iodophor, and continue doing my cleaning or whatever. And then when I'm done, I'll go back and rinse it off really well. By that time, hopefully anything that's on there will be dead. And then when I go to use that equipment again, I'm hitting it with star sand, so it gets a double whammy in between uses. Make sure I don't get any of those wild yeasts. This is the only time when I really use it though, because it takes more time, because it does require the 2 minutes versus 30 seconds, and you do need to rinse it, and I'm lazy. Next up, sodium or potassium metabisulfites. What's this one here? It's basically just a white powder. This is potassium metabisulfite. I don't have any sodium metabisulfite. And it was the sodium metabisulfite was the first thing that I used when I first started making mead. It came in a kit to help with get me started, so that's what I use. And it's typically what winemakers will use. And typically you'll want to use a sodium metabisulfite because it's a lot cheaper. But as we will discuss in week 3, when we talk about yeast, you'll want to use potassium metabisulfites to kill off the yeast that are in the mead that you're making. So it works by releasing sulfur dioxide when it's combined with water. And it's the sulfur dioxide that the bugs and yeast do not like, and so they die off. It requires about a 5 minutes contact time to be fully effective. And it also requires rinsing as well. It has, well, it's sulfur dioxide, so it smells and tastes like sulfur, so you want to make sure you rinse all that off. And I don't really use it for sanitizing because, once again, I'm lazy, and the extended contact time along with having to rinse it kind of makes me not want to do that. But if it's all you have, and you should have some on hand, like I said, we'll talk about it in week 3, then you can use it and get on with the mead day if you run out of anything else. Bleach is something that almost every household has or should have, since it's used for sanitizing kitchens and bathrooms, and it's also used for making those whites whiter in the laundry. It's super cheap. That almost 1 gallon bucket there. It was less than $2 at the grocery store, so you can find it just about anywhere. And for 1 gallon of sanitizing, it's 1 tablespoon. So a tablespoon of bleach to a gallon of water, or 4 milliliters to 1 liter, and you got your sanitizing solution. It does require 15 to 20 minutes contact time, and it requires a lot of rinsing because of the chlorine in it, which gives off a lot of bad flavors. So because of the lengths of time there, the contact time, and then a lot of rinsing, I don't use it, but it's there if you need it, since most places have it, and it's super cheap. You can get on with your sanitizing. You just gotta put in a little bit more time and effort. The other methods that I previously mentioned, requiring heating, boiling, steaming, baking, what have you, I don't use those because of the time required to get everything up to temperature, let it sit at that temperature for however long it needs to sit, and then you also got to wait for it to cool down. And a lot of equipment used in making mead is plastic, so it'll either melt or deform pretty bad, and we don't want that. Plus, I live in Texas. It's currently pushing 100 degrees Fahrenheit, almost 40 Celsius. My AC doesn't need me to be running the oven or stove or anything like that and adding more heat to the house. The AC is working hard enough as it is. Well, that's all well and good, but why do we want to sanitize? Well, we want to kill off or greatly reduce the wild yeast and bacteria that may be hanging around on our equipment. These wild yeast may introduce off flavors or ferment things that we don't want fermented. Some of the times we want the yeast to naturally stop at a certain point. So we choose a yeast that does that. But if there's wild ones or bacteria kicking around, then we may over ferment our beverage, causing it to dry out a lot more than we intended. Or it may restart fermentation after we've bottled, and quite often we're using bottles that can't handle carbonation, so it causes exploding glass at random intervals, and that is extremely dangerous. So we want to make sure everything's nicely sanitized so we don't introduce those wild yeasts and bacteria. There you have it. Week 1 is done. We survived. Remember, if you have any questions, post them below. Send me an email. Shoot me a tweet. Private message, whatever. Because week 9, I will answer all the questions for everybody. Here we go. So, everything you need to make mead. You need a container that can hold almost a gallon of water. You need a cutting board, knife, balloon, cinnamon sticks, bread yeast, just a large navel orange, raisins, and of course honey, and optionally some cloves, whole cloves, and a way to sanitize. And I am using Star San. So if you've already watched my sanitization video, then you know why I choose Star San, and I continue to choose it. But you can quite easily go to the store and buy the bleach when you're picking up all this stuff. I mean, this is my second attempt at this video, so this is actually a 3-pack. There was 3 in here. The balloon's already opened. And you can see I have some already used honey. The camera ate my video footage last time around, so this time we're doing it again. But it was like less than $30 for all the ingredients here. Just this store brand, because you don't need the fancy stuff for a mead like this. This is quick and easy. We're using bread yeast to make it. So yeah, this is how we'll go about doing it. Oh, also need towels. I'm a very messy person, so I always have a lot of towels on the broom. So let's get on with this. First up, the bucket. We want to sanitize this because we'll be pouring a bunch of the water into here. So it is now sanitized. We will now let that sit
just off to the side there. The other thing we want to do is we have an orange. It's just straight from the store. Wash it off and dry it off, and we just take it like so, and you just cut it. And just cut it. And it smells orangey and delicious. You just cut it. And cut it. So basically you want 8 slices. So you're cutting it into 8s. So slightly quicker way to do it is just to flip it over like that. Done. Nothing more to it. So we have our water now. We have our container. Hey, we're going to open up the water. First time it's been opened. We are going to dump out a lot of this water. So that is almost all of it. You can see there's a little in here. Why do we do that? Well, we're going to fit the honey in, and the raisins, and all this other stuff that we have. So, and to fit all that in, we're going to empty out the water so we don't have overflows and stuff. So the next thing we also would like to have is a scale. So we can turn the scale on. So we should actually have that on the scale. And we want it in pounds. So there's pounds. So we're going to use 3.5 pounds of honey. So 3.5 pounds of honey is going to get poured into here. Just nice and easy. There we go, right there. So as you can see, just a little bit more, That's no problem. So now what we're going to do is put the lid back on. Grabbing the honey. I'm just shaking it. Mixing it with that little bit of water that's in there. Mixing it good. So this is called shaking the bejesus out of it. So we get to that point. Good stuff. Alright. So there's that part. Let's go ahead and down just a little bit more. So you can actually see what I'm doing now. So we got our orange slices, right? Orange slices. Those just go straight in. They just go straight in. Just like that. That's right, peel and all. So a lot of people don't like meads because they can be very, very sweet. And technically this should be a very, very sweet mead because of all the honey that's in it. But because we're using peel along with the pith, that helps add balance to this. So it adds a little bit of the bitterness of the pith to the mead. We can take the that guy off. So the bitterness of the pith helps to balance the sweetness of the honey, so it's not a problem. But the key is you only want so much of the pith showing, so that's why it's just 8 slices, and then you just force them in there. It's not a problem. Get them in there, just like that. 1, 2, this is the last one, number 8. That one's in there. Again, get the, I'm going to grab a paper towel here and just wipe this off a little bit so things don't go flying as I'm doing a little shake here. Just a little shake, get them in there. So our next thing we're going to add, raisins. just simple raisins. You want to make sure that it is only raisins. Sometimes some of these guys have other stuff in it, but I don't know if you can see that, but where is it? There it is. Ingredients: California seedless raisins. Nothing else. There's nothing else on these guys. But sometimes they will put some oil on them to help keep them separated. There's no oil on these. It's just the raisins. And they just pop in. Pop, pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. And we're just going to use this whole package. If you buy them in bulk or whatever, then it's just use a handful of raisins. You don't have to count them out or anything, weigh them out. No, just a handful. Get them all in there, just like that. So we've got the raisins in there, all nice and happy. Now, cinnamon, a cinnamon stick. That goes straight in. The optional ingredient here is the cloves. So if you use these, do not use too many because they are potent. I did not buy this when I went and bought the ingredients because I already had this big old jar, and these things last forever. Like, we've had it for 5-6 years. You can see how many are gone, and I have made many batches. So yeah, I just tossed in 2. You know what, I'm gonna put the lid on, shake it up, just like that. So, can you guess what's next? Well, I have this much. We need to get this up to about here. Oh, you can't see it. Up to about there. Let's see if we can. So, think I can do this without spilling all over the place? I don't know. Maybe. That's all we want right there. That's a good spot. And again, it's just regular old bread yeast. Nothing fancy about this. Nothing fancy about this. It just opens and we'll pour it in. Just like so. Put the lid on it. Shake the bejesus. Now for the tricky part. We have the balloon. Got the cutting board. We need to just stab the balloon. So we do that to put holes in it. Just allow it to breathe a little bit when it's sitting over top of this guy. But of course, sanitize. We need to sanitize this. It's going to be clean. Just like so. And then we take the top off. Take the balloon and fit it over top. Just like that. And that's it. And there we have it. It's done. It's ready to go. So for the next week, it's just going to sit around. Since we're using the bread yeast, it prefers to be a little bit warmer, so 70 to 75 degrees is pretty much ideal. And yeah, for the next week, it's just going to sit on the counter, do its thing. And so thanks for watching along. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the next in the series, hit the subscribe button down there and you'll get a notification when it pops up. Yeah, so there we go. Cheers everybody.